PlayStation fan, not a fan of Halo, and Mo's looking sexy today. More in Mo and Rob's Super Ordinary Podcast. Thanks, everybody. We're back in Mo's and Rob's Super Ordinary Podcast. I'm your co-host, Big Rob, and that sexy man on the other side is Mo. Say hi, Mo.
What it do, y'all? Let's get into this. I'm ready.
Whoop, whoop. All right, before we get started, here is the rundown for today. Halo doesn't impress PS fans. EA goes private. Casting call on major projects. And the return of Mo Sports Desk and more. Yay. Hey, Mo. Good week, buddy?
It was a good week. Time just flies by. How about you, bud?
Actually, I can't complain. It's been really busy, but I'm glad that, it's for us guys, it's Friday night. So but I'm glad it's Friday night. We get to do this awesome podcast. I'll talk about the news of the week. And which reminds us, let's get started with gamer news. So let's get started with the elephant in the room. Halo campaign involved. Only one of the PS5 players actually played this game. And then right after, I guess Microsoft started laying off Halo Studios employees. Ouch! That's gotta hurt, man. I mean, Mo, what happened? What do you think? It's like, what happened? You gave this a 7.8 on your review, right? It's to reform back to the Halo days from the first game. It's like, why do you think, the fans from PlayStation just didn't care?
I don't know. I just don't think Halo is really relevant in mainstream culture, mainstream video games, it seems like now. I feel like the trajectory has been going downward for Halo for the past few years, especially since Halo Studios took over, originally or formerly called 343 Studios. And with each subsequent Halo, it seems to have been losing more and more relevancy, unfortunately. And this one particularly hurts. After Microsoft took that dive in sharing their IP with Sony, and only to have 1%, of PlayStation users really playing it, just looks bad. Just really looks bad. I mean, it's almost symbolic. Microsoft, giving their crown jewel to Sony, only, sleeping with the enemy, so to speak, only for it to just not even pan out, It looks bad. Then Halo Studios, laying off workers not shortly after the release. Yeah, there seems to probably be some turmoil there with Halo Studios going on. But yeah, it's just really disappointing. And I've kind of gauged some of the gamers out there in regards to the Halo release. A lot of them are just they're calling it too woke. They're very particular about the way that Halo Studios has handled the IP and the direction and the game designs that they have chosen, and they're not a fan of it, and they're responding accordingly, it seems like. So
I know, just to interrupt you for a second,
it's okay.
Like after Halo 3, it was a different staff, and that's where the problems started to happen, where they start dissecting what made Master Chief. So I guess that was the starting point of this amazing franchise just going down, and you see it by every single game popping out. There's just been a decline. I think this was like a Hail Mary pass for Microsoft bringing the franchise back. Is like, look, we could bring Master Chief back and what he stood for, and story wise, but it didn't work. I mean, I think it was only 8% of Xbox owners actually even playing the remake, and it's sad because when you have this is why it's very important to protect your IPs. I'll just say this: the people who made Halo, it was a small group, and they were passionate about it, and they worked long hours, but they love what they were doing. We've seen this time and time again where, when an IP grows and it's completely great, then you have outsiders coming in and dipping in, and they don't know what made the IP great in the first place. They just wanted to put their 2 cents on it, kind of like a fan fiction, you say, and it's just not the same. It's not the same character anymore. Not just on video games. This happens a lot during the movies too. I mean, we could talk about Star Wars, how George Lucas created this amazing universe, right? But as soon as they sold it to Disney, they wanted to put their agenda. They wanted to put themselves into it instead of just respecting the world that George Lucas created in the first place. And so, you get this product that sounds and look familiar, but it's not. It's completely different. And same thing happened with Marvel. After there was a certain point where, there was the talk deals between Disney and Marvel. And when Disney started to buy it, and this is before Endgame, you saw the little tiny changes. And then after Endgame, it went full girl brand. It went full Disney. And now there's this universe is struggling too. And you're just like, well, this ain't the universe that I used to know. This is completely different because people would just come in and destroy all the hard work, all the legacy that was created by the original creators. And so, it sucks because like I said, we've seen this time and time again where, when people create their IPs, something they love, sweat and tears, and then somebody who doesn't really know what the fuck they're doing just comes in and want to play in that sandbox. And then all the fans have to suffer through it because it's no longer the same sandbox that we're used to seeing. So it sucks because Halo, when you think of Xbox, you always think of Master Chief. He's the guy.
Yeah.
He's the Mario to the Nintendo,
I was just Master about to say that, yeah.
Yeah, he's Master Chief is the icon of Xbox. And seeing this crash down, it's really terrible because Forza was actually successful in PlayStation Network.
Mm-hmm.
It's actually good, and that's a racing game. But it's one of those things, you can't really F up a racing game, pretty much.
Yeah, Forza was just a seamless transition, and I'm happy for that product or for that IP because it's a great game, and I'm glad that PlayStation users are being able to experience it now. But yeah, just it's sad that Halo just did not have that same success. I know a lot of Halo fans want Halo Studios to let go of Halo, and they want someone else to do Halo. I don't know. I don't think that doesn't look like it's in the cards, at least right now. But yeah, Halo Studios has its hands full with the trajectory of the franchise, the way it's going right now. So this was just a massive failure of epic proportions for Microsoft and for Halo Studios to have the turnout that it did on PlayStation. And it seems that Halo, unfortunately, is losing its relevance in gaming and in the gaming narrative. It hasn't been really relevant for years. Call of Duty, Battlefield has all surpassed it. They've all surpassed Halo in terms of that multiplayer shooting, first-person shooter. When people think of that, that's what they're thinking of now. They're no longer thinking about Halo. So it's bad in Halo land right now, especially for a Halo fan. But, it is a remake of the original. It isn't a new game. There's that. So maybe, maybe PlayStation gamers were just not interested in a rehashed remake of an older game.
You see,
but
that's hard to measure too.
Right.
I think right now we should put Halo on ice. Wait until you get a group of guys who are completely passionate about Halo and let them bring them back. We got to stop letting who's ever coming off the block just touch these legendary IPs because eventually they're going to destroy that world. So just put on ice, wait, because I know for a fact there's going to be a guy who grew up on Halo, loves Halo, who's in the business because of Halo, and will throw his pitch to Microsoft is let me make this Halo game.
I mean, I would love that as a fan. So yeah. We'll
Good
see.
luck. In other gaming news, EA goes private, man.
Massive deal.
Oh my God. $50 billion sale.
55 billion.
55. I'm sorry. Damn, 55.
55 billion.
Oh, what does that mean?
I know. That's huge. Huge. Well, I'll say this first and foremost. I'm excited because, or at least I'm optimistic. Let me rephrase it. I'm optimistic with a hint of excitement because this means now that EA is now a private company again, and they're not beholden to quarterly shareholder reports. They don't have to appease public shareholders. They don't have to go to quarterly reports and say, look, I'm accelerating here in revenue, blah, 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 blah. they no longer need to do this. They're private now. So in best case scenario, like optimistically, I'm hoping that now, because they don't have to report, that the creativity can be unleashed for EA, and hopefully it'll be a new chapter for EA, and we'll start to see more creativity and better products from them, because they don't have to answer to shareholders.
And you know what? And I think that's exactly what they needed too, just because, shareholders could really chokehold any creator to their full potential, because all of a sudden it just becomes about making profits, making money.
Exactly.
And sometimes, it's not about that, man. It's about, the passion that you have, the storytelling that you have, that you want to tell. And that's where you get your loyal fans.
Yeah, let the product do the work and the money will come in. Yeah, we'll see how it goes. But yeah, massive deal. Yeah, $55 billion. That's crazy.
That is crazy.
Major titles for this company. I mean, we're talking about FIFA, like that's a global gaming brand for sure. You're talking about Madden. What else do we have on EA? I mean, there's a lot of stuff.
Apex Legends, Battlefield,
yeah, Battlefield,
and it's because of Battlefield 6 they were able to make this happen. I think they had like a 81.5% net income surge just from that.
Mm-hmm.
And
from that.
Yeah, and that gave the shareholders confidence to trigger this deal. So hey, listen, EA got so bad that every single thing it was a transaction, microtransaction. It's just because they were just trying to get profit. Hopefully it changes now since they're private. Hopefully now it's about the experience instead of the almighty dollar. Okay. Right now it's time for them to actually shine as a company, go back to the very roots, what made EA great in the first place. So yeah, we'll see, because like I said, EA has a lot of good franchises under their belts, and we just don't want it to just be just a reason for them to make money, but a good way of like creating these new worlds and familiar worlds that we're used to, and just we wanting to just visit that again. So hopefully we get more good Maddens now. That's been kind of in decline.
For years.
Battlefield. I've been waiting for a good Battlefield for years, and the last one was great. Keep that going, right? So yeah, I mean, yeah, I'm rooting for EA to.
So you're cautiously optimistic like me, then, hoping for the best on this one.
I mean, hopefully that greed just steps aside, because that's what drives a lot of these companies nowadays. It's just that greed, and that greed could kill your product so quickly if you're not careful, man. So I'm really hopeful like that. I'm really optimistic about it. So
here's to hoping.
Yeah, so give it a couple of years. I'm gonna give it a couple of years and see what happens. It's gonna be fun. Hopefully.
Hopefully. I mean, we're seeing a trend. We're seeing a trend in this consolidation of gaming companies, though. You got Activision being bought by Microsoft for $69 billion. Got EA now for $55 billion. I mean, I wonder who's next on the block.
And I know a lot of people are kind of cautious about the Saudis buying EA, right? Look, Saudis are gamers too. I know. Saudis, there's a large amount of gamers over there. Maybe they're just buying it because they really want better games, good games, and they know, hey, you know what? Maybe if I bought this, they could actually. This is the exact freedom that they kind of need. I could say the same thing with Elon Musk buying X or Twitter, where he's like, you know what? This is going a certain route. I just want everyone to speak their mind, so I'll just buy this so they could give him freedom. But deep down inside, he did have his own little agenda. Croc, I'm pretty sure he was just getting like our information so he could get a perfect AI, but that's just my conspiracy theory.
Oh no, it makes perfect sense. Yeah. X is ripe with data for him, but
all right, and now let's do some Hollywood stories. So our first Hollywood story is a Hollywood story / gaming, but it's definitely a Hollywood story. We all know that Ryan Hurst tore his bicep during his filming on set for
God of War.
And so instead of the company waiting for him to heal, which he would have been healed until 2027, they're like, nah, dudes, we're going to start filming today. So
but before you even get into that, how I mean, how much of a bicep do you really need to use in the? Well, I guess it's God of War. It's probably very.
It's Kratos, bro.
Yeah, that's true. Damn,
Yeah.
I didn't know it takes that long for a bicep to cure.
I just want to know exactly what happened
he did
for
it.
his bicep to be like. He was probably swinging an axe and just, my arm. I would have been like, I have the other arm. It's good. But Amazon went crazy and they're like, no, we got to replace him right away. We can't be losing money. I think Amazon has. I think they have a little trick up their sleeves that they need this show to pan out. But there is talks now, big talks that Dave Bautista may be the stand-in and be the new Kratos.
Interesting choice. Interesting choice.
I don't know about this one. I really don't. To me, Dave doesn't even look that big anymore. I don't know if you've seen him recently, dude. It's like
he's lost a lot of weight and muscle mass for sure.
It's the muscle mass. I don't mind him losing weight,
mass.
But it's the muscle mass that I was like, he doesn't have that Kratos bod anymore. I mean,
but supposedly from what I've been reading, he got really bulked up again for the filming of the Highlander film that's set to come out.
Oh, really?
So, yeah, that's what I was reading. Yeah, he's going to be in the Highlander film. Oh, so from what I read, he was bulking up for that. So if that is the case, and Amazon hit him up with, hey, are you interested? That could be a perfect segue for him. If he's already bulked up, he doesn't have to, go through much extra training for the role. That would make sense. But at the same time, if this series does pan out, right? They're already signed for 2 seasons already with Amazon. If it does pan out, that would require Bautista to remain,
juicing
in that shape. Yeah. Juicing, whatever you want to call it, bulked up. And I don't know if that's something that he wants to do at this age and at this point of his career. He's publicly said that he enjoys feeling lighter and, the regimen that he used to do, he was getting tired of it. He likes the new exercises that he's doing. He likes being lighter. So I don't know if that's going to be able to be viable for him long term, especially, he's been, he doesn't want to be thought of as just a bulked up, hulky guy. I think he wants to kind of diversify himself and to Hollywood, to get, different roles to highlight his acting. Because I think he's really a pretty good actor.
Well, here's the thing. He is a good actor. In fact, I found him more talented than Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson.
Oh, by far.
Yeah, by far. I mean, he still could be a big guy and still act. I mean, he was great besides Guardians, he took that role and made it his own, and he was just like the best part of that team. But besides Guardians, I mean, even in Blade Runner, he was fantastic. He had a small part, but he was fantastic as an actor. He was great. Other projects that he did, he was a bulk guy, and he did fantastic as well. The last one he did with Night Shyamalan, but he was fantastic on that. In fact, I mean, he was kind of scary at first because it was just this big dude who's acting really nice, and you're like, well, what the hell? But I understand what he means. Where it's like he doesn't want to carry all that weight anymore. He doesn't want to.
It's a lot of work. Yeah, I don't think a lot of people realize that how much work goes into that, not just from the exercise standpoint, but from the nutrition standpoint. I mean, certain NFL players, just to maintain their size and stuff, they got to eat 5,000-6,000 calories a day, bro.
Yeah.
And it just becomes a full-time job of stuffing your face and, meeting the caloric needs for that body upkeep. So yeah, I totally wouldn't blame them.
Do you think they might recast Kratos for the second season then? Maybe Bautista's just doing, Bautista's doing the favor of helping Amazon for this first season, finish it up. They want to get that out of the way. And then second season, probably bring somebody else in.
I don't think that would be prudent of Amazon to do that. I mean, why would you change the actor for the main character in this IP? No.
Well, they couldn't wait until next year. It's like I said, Amazon, they're onto something.
Yeah, there seems to be a rush for sure, but no, my gut says Amazon's going to need someone who can fully commit to this role. So I don't know if Bautista is going to be able to fit it.
Yeah, if he does accept it, it's gotta be a big paycheck for him to even be I'll do this. I'll sacrifice my body for 2 more years.
So circling back to what I said the other week. So what do you think, man?
Bautista versus
John Bernthal as Kratos. Who would you prefer?
Can you imagine John Bernthal as Kratos though? I mean, he has the look, but he's like, wait. Let me tell you something.
Oh man! But I can just imagine him.
Let me tell you something.
But I could just imagine him shouting out, "Aegis!" I can see that, and I could see him, with the beard. He might need to get a little jacked too, because he's definitely not on the bigger side, so he'd probably have to get really jacked for that too. And again, for the timeline, I don't know if that's going to work out for Amazon, but
no, it won't. It won't. Like even like you said, like Bautista's coming off from Highlander film, right? And the guy who's starring that film, it's Henry Cavill. He's already freaking jacked. So I could see why he needed to be jacked for this movie. So yeah, they're not going to wait. They're not going to wait. Even if they wanted him, they're not going to wait for him to get jacked up. They need someone now. Like they need someone right now.
I know.
And I think that's what's going to be like hard for them, especially on season 2. Like I said, if Bautista says yes, that money has to be worth it. And I think Amazon, because they're somehow desperate for this now, I think they're going to give it to him if Bautista decides to go gung-ho with this. So, yeah. But Bernthal would knock it out of the park, to tell you the truth. I think
would you prefer John Bernthal over Dave Bautista as Kratos?
For a fun show, yeah, for sure. 100%.
Same.
I feel look, I don't think God of War is going to God of War is going to take itself too serious. I think it's just going to be, hopefully it's going to be a fun game. Fun show. As long as they don't take it to the Rings of Power route, I think this would be an awesome show for sure, man. Like super awesome show. I did not know this. I just found out when you actually told me, and I am completely surprised.
Big news.
Elden Ring movie. They wrapped up July 30th. So it was just last week. I didn't even know they were making a movie. That's crazy.
Yeah. And they just finished wrapping filming, and post-production is going to be for at least another year.
And I kind of like that A24 is running it. So
this movie has a recipe to be potentially one of the great video games movies of all time. You got A24 behind it, right? Mm-hmm. You've got Alex Garland, who wrote the screenplay or the script prior to submitting it over. And he has a pretty good track record of some movies, what do we got? 28 years later, Ex Machina, Annihilation.
Ex Machina was fantastic.
Yeah, one of the great sci-fi movies of all time. So
fantastic.
So he has a good track record. You got Alex Garland. You got $100 million for budget. So your budget is good, pretty solid especially for a video game movie. Yeah, the recipe is there for this to be epic.
I know George R.R. Martin, he's producing.
He is producing too, yeah.
If you guys
he co-created that world.
Yeah, if you guys don't know who George R.R. Martin is, Game of Thrones. So, George, speaking for all your fans, when you're going to finish that book, bro? You need to finish Fire and Ice already. If not, give it to somebody else. It's been way too long.
He's not finishing that book.
Just give it to somebody else. Guys, it's fine. Just give it to somebody else. I mean, we just want that story to have a conclusion. You can't be dangling your carrot.
You can't leave us hanging like that. Yeah,
that's just crazy. But yeah, Elden Ring. I'm like, wow. This has been, honestly, this is probably maybe the era of video games. It's like they tried to do it back then in the 90s. It didn't pan out. Maybe this time it's gonna pan out. I mean, we had like success in the Sonic the Hedgehog. Yeah, it's success in Mario. Right now, we just got Mortal Kombat. We're gonna get Street Fighter. Now Elden Ring's coming. You got God of War, the TV show coming. I mean, this may be the era of video games. Just please, for the love of goodness gracious, movie companies, don't screw this up. Don't F this up. Please, I beg of you, just don't do it. Look,
fingers crossed.
Well, but
I'm hopeful though, because Garland wrote like 160-page like speculative script of his own like initiative, right? He took the initiative. I guess he really liked the IP and the game, and he pitched it directly to the Front Software president, Miyazaki. So that's hopeful, because I think Miyazaki understands his IP, and if he liked that script and decided to go with that and go into filming this movie, that is very hopeful that this could be potentially a really good video game movie. Do you think, Rob? Do you think this has the best shot of a video game? Best shot a video game has ever had,
bro?
With
you
all
have
the ingredients that we got.
You got A24. You have Garland. You have George R.R. Martin. You have $100 million budget. Okay, that alone should write success because I see no red flags there. Everything seems copacetic. Everything looks freaking fantastic. So now what it comes down to is them putting this all together. I know they finished filming, so make sure the story is entertaining. I don't know what kind of, I'm pretty sure they're going to try and make it like a fantasy epic. Okay. So if you're going that route, there's, make sure everything makes sense. Everything's fun. Everything is exciting. Make sure you make sure to remember what made Elder Rings fans
love this game. Place. Yeah. Make sure it's true to the spirit of the IP.
Oh, yes. Yes, that's all you need. If you do that, you're golden. You're set. So yeah, high hopes. It should release in March 3rd, 2028. So dude, you got 2 years to, you guys finished? You got 2 years to put this baby together and make it magnifico, right? So
very exciting.
It's very exciting. I'm super, super, super excited. And you know who else is excited right now, bro? Now, Sony. Sony's very excited right now.
Oh, they are just
oh my God. Let's talk about Spider-Man Brand New Day and their 1.15 billion in 7 days. 7 days. 1.155 billion in 7 days.
I think it's the second largest opening of all time.
Globally.
Yep.
That is crazy. They just on this one movie they made their bank for the year. That's it. They could just rest and we're good.
Only trailed Avengers Endgame, which opened up at 1.26 billion,
and it's not going to stop. Like I said, it has really no competition for the rest of the summer. I know pretty soon Odyssey is going to be stopping showing their movies in some of the IMAX, so Spider-Man's going to probably be on those IMAX screens, and I'm pretty sure there's a lot of fans who enjoyed it is going to go and watch it on the biggest screen possible. I will still stand saying that it's gonna outgross Avengers Doomsday. 100%.
Yeah, you called it. You called it on the weekend, on the opening weekend, and even before that, you said you said that this movie, you're calling it then that this movie is going to surpass Doomsday. So as of right now, it's looking like it has a very, very good chance. I don't know if Doomsday I don't think Doomsday is gonna capture that amount in its first 7 days, especially competing with Doom.
No, just because you have Doom 3, Jumanji 4, even though we laugh at Jumanji 4, but we got to understand this is holiday week and we have a lot of families out there want to do something together, and safest base is Jumanji 4. But yeah, dude, this is going to be the highest Marvel Studios / Sony that's going to make for a long while from now, because I can't see anything topping Spider-Man Brand New Day unless it's another Spider-Man.
Naturally.
But yeah, I mean, I think it was just a perfect storm, man. We had nothing to watch for many, many years, and this looked like a fun film. The costume looks great, so everyone wanted to see it. For the most part, people enjoyed it. We enjoyed it. We had fun with it. I certainly had my problems with it for sure.
But at the end of the day, it's Spidey, and man, that dude he just makes money. He's a money-making machine. People love Spidey. For better or for worse, but
yeah. So good luck. I mean, geez Louise, man. Like I said, I guess I could probably see them making another 500 before closeout.
500 million.
600. Reason for it, because I know Sony and Marvel. You know what they're gonna do? They're gonna try re-release this somehow before Doomsday. Be like, hey, you guys have to catch up. You gotta know what happens. Even though this movie has nothing to do with Doomsday, they're just gonna try and milk this as much as they can. So
wouldn't doubt it. I wouldn't doubt it coming from Sony.
Yeah. So, but good for them, man.
And speaking of movies, man, Legend of Zelda news, huge news.
You're right. Well, major news on Legend of Zelda. We got more casting. So you actually told me this, and I had to make sure. It's like, are you sure? Are you sure? Are you sure? So hopefully I'm not butchering his name. Yuli.
I know it's kind of hard.
Yeah, Yuli Dukatifu. And he's from Australian, so that's a weird last name for an Australian. He's been cast as Ganondorf. And what's crazy is a multi-picture deal sign. So I knew this was gonna happen because it's freaking Sony. There's going to be multiple Legend of Zelda movies because I just know it's Sony. So when you told me about this casting, I needed to make sure. I was like, you sure? Reason for it is because when they first announced this film, I was wondering, well, what story and who's they're going to cast? And then I was talking to somebody and we're like, listen, I would like to see The Rock in this, but I don't want to see The Rock in this. We need someone who's like a Roskick, kind of like The Rock in physique or look to pull a Ganondorf off, but I don't want The Rock in it. Of course. All. So when I heard this news, I'm like, freaking perfect. Yes. Multiple reasons why this is a perfect casting. Number one, he looks like someone who could be The Rock, which is funny because he's actually plays The Rock on a show called The Rock. I don't know the name of the show, but it's the story of The Rock. And he plays The Rock in that show.
Growing up and whatnot, right?
Yes. So I'm like, oh my, perfect. Yes. He has his physique, like he's built. So perfect. I haven't really seen him act, but that's the beauty of it. Is because I always said this, if you're going to make a Legend of Zelda movie and everyone was saying, oh, get Tom Holland. It was like, no, bullshit. No, you want to get nobody who are like in the spotlight, nobody who's been in the game, but not really front and center. That's how they did it with Star Wars. That's how you're supposed to do it here. You got to cast nobodies to make this work. Because the problem with Odyssey 2 is like, just like us, when we saw Tom Holland, we saw Tom Holland. We didn't see that character. Same thing as this. These characters, like, they mean so much to many fans. It means a lot to me too. I want them to really knock this thing out of the park. This casting is perfect. I'm like, yes, they already finished filming. So I'm just glad to know that we already know that Ganondorf is going to be on this film. I honestly didn't know they're going to have Ganondorf. Maybe they're going in a different route because there's other different villains throughout the series. But Ganondorf is just the most memorable one.
You got to have him.
Yeah. So I'm like, all right, then, cool. Yes, cool. Now the question is, it's like, okay, so what story are they going to adapt? Because there's several games that actually has Ganondorf in it. But I'm like, you know what? If you want, make it your own thing. Make it your own thing. You don't have to follow any of the games. Just make it your own theme and just be true to the spirit of Legend of Zelda.
That's all we asked for.
Yeah. So we got that news. And then we also got a news that Sam Neill actually filmed a role before his death last month. So this is going to be his final on-screen appearance. Sam Neill, hell yeah. Now the question is, who does he play? Nintendo's keeping that under wraps. I kind of have an idea who he might be playing.
What's your hunch?
My hunch, he's going to be the king of Reliance. Or other words, he's going to be Zelda's dad. He's going to be the king of Hyrule, which I think that would be perfect.
Royalty? Yeah. That makes perfect sense for him.
Yeah, I would totally love to see that. I would love to see that. But we don't know. And I'm pretty sure.
We don't know. But we'll circle back. We'll circle back and see if he called it.
But I'm calling it that he's going to be Zelda's dad. He's going to be the king of Hyrule.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm calling it right now. Just because it just fits perfect for him. You know, I can't see him be anybody else. I can't see him be anybody else.
I could see that. But
and then we have, of course, this was leaked months ago when they announced who was playing Zelda and Link, that Latchman from Severance is going to be playing Impa. For me, that's also perfect casting. Not only that she looks like Impa, I feel like she could actually bring that character to life, right? Impa, if you guys don't know who Impa is, she's pretty much a personal bodyguard to Zelda. So if she needs to get down, she'll get down. And it's really, really exciting to know that Impa's going to be in this. I'm glad Impa's going to be in this. It just kind of shows you what type of story they're leaning towards to, because Impa, she has come in other Legend of Zeldas, but in different ages. So in some games, she's like really old. She's elderly. Others, she's like a warrior or just training. This one, it looks like she's already a personal guard to her, protecting Zelda. So things is going to go down, which I really love. Then another casting, Ivan Sarlokovich.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's been cast. They don't know who she's gonna play. All they said was that she's gonna be a queen character. Okay, so dude, okay, so could it be Zelda's mom? Maybe, we don't know. Zelda's mom was never in the games. She's always been like she has passed away before we actually get to Zelda becomes of age.
Yeah.
So we don't know if there's gonna have like a quick flashback, and we finally get to see her mom, or
what?
she could be other queens that in the universe. Even though I don't think it's gonna happen, another queen in this universe could be someone like Impa from Twilight Princess. Even though she's a princess in the Twilight Realm, she could be a queen. There's also the Zoras, but they're not confirmed that species is going to be in this game. Zoras are, royalty in the underwater world per se, to just make it easier on you guys to understand who are the Zoras. There's a good fraction and also bad fractions of the Zoras, so they're not always good guys or bad guys with the royal family. Yeah, so we don't know exactly what queen. My bet is, she's probably gonna play Zelda's mom. So
yeah. Okay.
Because if you're going with the other routes, I mean, that's a lot of characters that you have to introduce, and this movie is already big enough.
How do you feel about Link's casting?
Good.
Link and Zelda, I guess, to be exact.
Well, I love Zelda. You know what? I like both. Once again, you're getting actors who know the game, but they're not, front and center on anything. I know Benjamin has a show in Netflix. I never seen it. I don't want to see it just because now that I know that he's gonna be Link, I want to see him as Link.
Just want to keep it fresh, yeah.
Yeah, same as Zelda. There's other casting news too. I forgot. There's this I forgot his name, but there's a guy who's already been cast as a Goron. Goron are rock people that live in Death Mountain. That's exciting because I really like that tribe. They're a tribe that lives in the mountains and they eat rocks, and there's just like it just brings a lot of possibilities. We don't know exactly. We know the Kuroki children is going to be coming back. They're going to not coming back, but coming in this film. They already hired a bunch of kids playing that part. So we know there's probably going to be some sort of Lost Woods in the movie. So maybe Sarah, maybe a Deku Tree. We don't know. Like I said, we don't know what version they're going to doing, or they're going to do their own thing. But just hearing that they're, we got these characters from these different regions from the game, that alone is freaking exciting. That I'm really gung ho, and I figured that this is going to be a multi movie deal, because you can't tell a Legend of Zelda story in just 2 hours. You just can't. Okay, if they do it right, probably make a trilogy, and each movie maybe 3 hours. Right? I'm not talking about do Lord of the Rings, which is like 4 hours and something. 3 hours would be cool, but that's just me because I'm a big fan. I would love to be in that world.
The world is so rich with lore and backstories and characters that I could see that easily filling in 3 hours for each movie, especially for one like story to tell. I could absolutely see that.
And this year too, we're celebrating the 40-year anniversary of Legend of Zelda. So get ready, folks. I'm pretty sure you guys who are Nintendo fans, Legend of Zelda fans, you guys are kind of excited for next month, because next month it's rumored that we're finally gonna see the first remake of Ocarina of Time for the Switch 2. And usually when they do a direct like this, we're definitely gonna get that first teaser trailer of the Legend of Zelda movie. So it's gonna be big. It's gonna be huge. The toys they're gonna be big too. Zelda next year is gonna be Zelda year. So
I can't wait to see that trailer. I'm very curious to see.
But moving on, more casting.
Before we move on,
yeah, go for it.
I just want to give a shout out to Sam Neill. Rest in peace, buddy.
Oh,
love him. I'm gonna miss him. Miss you, buddy, already. And yeah, I mean, he's definitely a Hollywood treasure. He'll be missed, and I just want to give my shout out to Sam Neill. And I think it's going to be amazing, especially if they knock this Zelda movie out of the ballpark, that this is going to be his very last role. So, just want to throw that out there.
No, yeah. Well, do you have a Sam Neill favorite movie?
Bicentennial Man.
Oh, nice. Nice.
For me, yeah.
Nice.
You?
That's good. Ooh, man. You know, a lot of people will say Jurassic Park and all that, which is great,
That's
but
what
the
he's
man does
known
great
for.
horror. And there's this horror movie that always freaks me out, but I always watch it because he's in it, is Event Horizon.
Yeah, that is a classic Sam Neill movie with Lawrence Fishburne, right?
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. Oh, man. I love them
Good
in that.
pick.
Yeah.
Good pick.
Event Horizon. Yeah, but he's great in everything, man. Everything.
Absolutely.
People of the Wilderness. He also did what's that? Hunt for Red October. I mean, he's been in so many things, and he always gave like an amazing, awesome performance. So,
Every time, yeah.
yeah, rest in peace, bro. So,
moving on.
So, like I said, casting. It's a bunch of casting news. MCU X-Men started casting their X-Men.
And this is funny because you were just mentioning the character Emma Frost last week.
Yes, I did. And she's been cast as Samantha Weaving has been cast as Emma Frost, which would have made more sense for her to be the villain in Spider-Man Brand New Day. But hey, I'm not writing these things, guys. I'm not part of the MCU, making the magic or whatever. But yeah, I love this actress. I saw her in Ready or Not. She was fantastic in that. I think she could actually be a great Emma Frost. So great casting. And believe it or not, they also actually cast Kit Connor as Cyclops. He's been cast too. Never seen this kid before. I know I saw him maybe once, but I don't remember him in Warfare. But he didn't stand out to me or anything like that.
Yeah,
I saw a recent picture of him. He's bulk, definitely bulk. So, but yeah, that's going to be our new Cyclops. You guys already know our Jean Grey. So here's the thing. So far, the casting and the rumor of the casting has been great. But what's really going to hold this together, the whole X-Men, is who they're going to cast for Magneto and Professor X. Okay,
we're still waiting on that.
That's going to be the glue that holds everything together. It has to be believable. Everyone's actually kind of scared, just because there's rumors. Well, yeah, there's rumor that they might cast Professor X and Magneto as people of color. People don't want that, really. They just want to be true to the source material, which is hard. Let's be honest. It's going to be hard because Magneto, he's a survivor from the World War II era.
Auschwitz camp, if I'm not mistaken, like the harshest one. One of them, yeah.
Yeah, so having him still alive he could still be alive, but let's be honest, he's very elderly. So I don't think he's going to be such a threat. Like I said, I don't know how they're going to pull this off. If they could somehow, I don't know, just bring that era of time and somehow over here, maybe. I don't know. So
if it was up to you, I mean, who would you like to see cast as Magneto or Professor X or both? If you have any ideas?
Well, here's the thing. There was a rumor that Adam Driver was talked to for Magneto.
I could see that.
I love that casting. I'm like, yeah.
I actually think he would look great in that Magneto helmet too.
Yes.
I could see that.
And then the rumor changed from Magneto to Mr. Sinister. So
okay.
I really don't know. As Professor X, I really don't know.
The tough one.
That one's a tough one. I really can't see anyone pulling Professor X. That's a hard one to cast. So we'll see.
We'll see. But the Adam Driver as Magneto, I like that.
I like Adam Driver as Magneto. That's yeah. We could have that. Yeah, that'd be cool. X-Men is expected to be released in 2028. I don't know how they're gonna. They kind of introduced them to the MCU already with Jean Grey.
Mm-hmm. We'll probably see some more introduction in Doomsday.
Yeah, but there's probably going to be a reasoning, like why now? From so many years, why are the mutants are barely appearing now? There could be a simple explanation, like the gamma radiation from the snap. Somehow when everyone got bloomed back, some of the DNA was mutated and doesn't activate until.
That could be that could potentially be one way.
Yeah, or maybe they're from a whole different universe. You see, here's the thing. The only thing I like about Fantastic Four that it wasn't a whole different universe. That's why it was able to be taking place in the 60s.
Mm-hmm.
That was really cool.
Yeah.
They could do the same thing with X-Men. And then you have something like, they can't do it anymore, but you have X-Men take place in the era that this should be taking place. And then you have an event like Secret Wars where they just bring all these different characters from different timelines and put them in one world. That could have made sense, but they can't do that anymore because that's not part of the plan. But like I said, I don't work for Marvel Studios or anything like that. So
hopefully Marvel is thoughtful enough to figure a way how to integrate the X-Men moving forward. So we'll see.
Yeah.
But so far the casting is looking hopeful. So
Yeah,
I'm
it is.
gonna be
It is.
hopeful.
Nothing. The rumor of Rogue and even Beast looks promising. So yeah, I'm gung ho. Let's do this. I would love to see a Hell's Fire Club movie before X-Men though. Have like Emma Frost and that whole group f things up before before we get the X-Men, but. That's just me. But you know what, dude? Even though we're kind of hopeful for, the video game movies coming out and, the MCU coming back, we all can't be optimistic like DC right now, because right now the final box office for Supergirl is 126 million. 126 million. No, we're not talking about billions. We're talking about millions. That's just...
Ouch. 126.
Yeah, 126 million. What could I say?
Pretty bad.
I went to go see the movie. It was crap. I didn't like it at all. I'm telling you right now, this could be like the final nail on James Gunn's DCU. Man of Tomorrow will be his final project for Warner Brothers. I'm counting on it. They're gonna have to once again reboot. I say just stop doing the connected universe. Just start doing movies.
Just focus on the characters. Just focus on the great characters that DC has.
Here's the thing. I mean, you can't be making Batman for the rest of your life,
Right.
You have other great superhero characters that you could make good movies off. Just once again, respect the source material. That's all you need to do. Respect the source material. Every time you guys deviate and you want to make it your own, guess what? It just doesn't pan out. It really doesn't. Yeah. So
this is just a colossal disappointment for DC. I mean, how much did they make? 126 million. It cost them, I guess, 170 to 186 million, but then they dropped another 100 million or so just on marketing and distribution. I mean, racking all that up together, 290 million. You're out by what? Minus 160 at least. 160 million loss on that movie. That is bad, and that doesn't look good for DC Universe moving forward, and it definitely doesn't look good for James Gunn.
That's what I was going to tell you. That's what I was going to say. It's like, how could James Gunn even recover from this anymore?
Yeah.
How many times, like, he did it with The Flash, he did it with this Supergirl, where he's like, I read the script, it's an amazing script, it's one of the greatest script ever, and then they're both dog shit.
Yeah. And I mean, you called it, buddy, on one of our first episodes. You gave it a 1 out of 8 bits, and clearly the numbers are showing in the box office now.
Yeah. I mean, I know there's fans out there who love Supergirl, love DC, loves James Gunn. He could never do any wrong. DC can never do any wrong. And I was called out that, I gave Supergirl such a low score. Well, I'm just being honest, man. If it was a good movie, I would say it was a freaking good movie. Just like Spider-Man, I had more problems than good stuff, but it is a fun movie, and that's why I recommended it. If not, I'd be like, nah, don't be wasting your money on this. This is just crap. Same thing with Supergirl. It's sad. First of all, like I said, it wasn't a Supergirl film, and nobody was asking for a Supergirl movie in the first place. You don't go from Superman to Supergirl, knowing for a fact that you have like Green Lantern, Aquaman, Wonder Woman.
Bro,
Batman.
I'm still waiting for a good Green Lantern movie. Come on, guys. Can we do this? Can we make a good Green Lantern movie? Like, he's one of the sickest freaking comic book characters of all time. How can you not make a good movie?
And you have multiple Green Lanterns from different eras, so it doesn't make sense. You can't make one?
That's all I ask for, DC. Just come on, give us a Green Lantern movie that's worth it, man. Anyways,
dude, I'm just so disappointed with DC.
They just
like look. I said this before, like a long time ago, even before the podcast. I know I probably told it to you what Zack Snyder did. It was pretty cool, but what they should have done is make every DC movie, comic book movie, rated R. Very mature.
Yeah,
that would stand out. Yeah, that would have totally stand out from the MCU, and you're gonna have that niche where people be like, "Oh man, these characters really get down. Let's go check it out." Yeah, I see Ben Affleck easily as a rated R Batman if they wanted to take.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, but yeah, the contrast. You're absolutely right. That would have been a great contrast because the Marvel movies usually run PG-13. They're a little more family oriented, family friendly, and DC could have offered something that contrasts that, and it's natural for DC Universe. It's just a darker, grittier universe. So the rated R seems appropriate. I don't know where DC Universe goes from here, though, but they might just need to blow it up again.
There's only one way, and fans have been repeating this over and over. Warner Brothers, you want a good live action DC studio movie? hire the people who do the animation, because the
yeah.
animation movie are
They're
true
sick.
to the spirit. Yeah, they true to the spirit. Freaking, they're amazing. And guess what? They're not all freaking PG-13. Some of them are really
they're
brutal, rated R, freaking masterpieces. And that's what you should have been doing from the beginning. Instead of trying to copy the formula that MCU did. That's not you guys. There's a reason why there's DC and Marvel. You guys ain't supposed to be buddies. You guys are supposed to be doing your own thing with your own characters, outdoing one another. And that's the problem. You guys forgot how to compete with the other guys.
But yeah, no, you're absolutely right. I mean, those DC animated films are fire. And I always sit there watching them and I'm like, man, these are great. Why can't they get why can't they get a movie down? Like, come on. Yeah, maybe they need to take a page from those writers. Yeah.
It's a no-brainer.
Let's do this, DC. Come on.
Yeah. All right, then, guys. Back to Popular the Band. Ladies and gentlemen, I guess it is time for Mo Sports Desk.
And we start off with the biggest news in the NFL. And there was a lot of news this past week in the NFL, but this one stands out to me. Aaron Donald worked out this past Wednesday for the LA Rams. Huge NFL news. He actually had to sign some paperwork, so it's mandated reporting by the NFL, and that's how we know. But Aaron Donald worked out with the Rams at training camp. He's officially retired still. He hasn't signed anything like that. But this whole narrative, this whole idea came about when the reigning Defensive Player of the Year, Myles Garrett, was traded and signed to the LA Rams this past offseason with 23 sacks last season. I think he broke the record, actually. And yeah, when Aaron Donald found out this news, there was people already speculating, come on, Donald, let's come back. And I think he really liked the idea. He was pondering it. And now we see him working out at the training camp. I know Aaron Donald himself has said that he has got to test out his body, see if it's, NFL, if he can get back into NFL shape. He has been retired for a couple of seasons already, so it's not like you can just jump right back from retirement back into the NFL. But Aaron Donald is an absolute beast. He still posts on social media all the time of his workouts. The dude looks like he can still easily play in the NFL, just at least visually. But obviously, I know there's more to that than just the aesthetics. But the head coach of the LA Rams Sean McVay said that he looked great. He and I probably talk every day if he wants to do it. Yeah, that Adam Schefter, ESPN's Adam Schefter reported that Aaron Donald wanted to do a workout in a football helmet. And even though he didn't wear pads during it, he used Rams team equipment at their facility during the training camp, requiring them to report his activity to the NFL. So there you have it. I mean, this is exciting if you are a football fan, especially exciting if you're a Rams fan. I mean, can you imagine the duo of Aaron Donald and Myles Garrett together? I mean, I know football fans are probably salivating for that. I am. Now, don't get me wrong. Aaron Donald's been retired for 2 seasons. We don't know what he's got left in the chamber. But even if Aaron Donald is like 75% of what he was, this would be a fearsome defensive line. It could arguably be one of the most frightening lines we've ever seen with these two together at the helm. And in my personal opinion, these two defensive linemen are probably the 2 greatest linemen in the last quarter century easily in the NFL in my book. These are generational players. I've never seen players like Aaron Donald and Myles Garrett. They are the most incredible defensive linemen I've ever seen in the past 25 years easily. So, and I'll debate anybody over that. Aaron Donald, Myles Garrett, nobody better. I've never seen a player come close to the levels that these guys compete at day in and day out. So yeah, here's to hoping. We'll see if it happens, but the trend is looking up for Aaron Donald to potentially make a comeback to the LA Rams and compete for another championship. Now that would be epic if he came back and wins another championship. That would just further cement his legacy. Obviously, there's a lot of variables that go with that, but I would love to see that. Is it worth is injury a risk? Would his legacy be untouched? I don't know. I think for Aaron Donald, I think his legacy is already cemented, and he would just further cement it if he just came back and played, honestly. So I'll be hoping. We'll see. But on to the next segment here. We got more NFL news. We've got Baker Mayfield. He's been having a little drama here with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. He was offered $50 million a year. It was a 2-year deal, and he said that he felt offers were competitive, but I think he wanted something longer term. I don't think he wanted 2 years. It was a 2-year extension worth just over $100 million. Mayfield called it, quote unquote, disrespectful. I don't know how disrespectful you can really justify that, Baker. $50 million is not something to sneeze at. I know that you have provided a lot to this franchise. You've given a resurgence. Your play has been probably the best we've ever seen in your career since you've come to Tampa Bay. But to call it disrespectful, that's taking a little too far, Baker. Come on. But I will say, if you take a look at this chart, compile some stats here for you. In terms of production, he might be right in terms of production. I mean, Mayfield actually over the past 3 seasons has, aside from Matthew Stafford, who had an MVP season last year, he is the second most in passing yards over the course of the last 3 seasons. So Mayfield has put up the numbers. Touchdowns versus interception, Mayfield is number 1, surprisingly. 95 touchdowns to 37 interceptions, leads all the top paid quarterbacks. So Mayfield does have a point. He wants to get paid in that threshold that these other top quarterbacks are getting paid at. And his production justifies it. So from that standpoint, I could totally understand it. Patrick Mahomes right now is currently at 63 mil. You got Prescott at 60, on at 55, Burrow at 55. So I know Baker Mayfield's probably targeting somewhere in the fees per year annually. The Bucs offered him 2 years, 50 mil each. He declined. I think Baker Mayfield wants something longer term, probably 3, 4 years is probably what he's looking for. The Bucs did not want to give him a long-term contract. And now Baker is just going to bet on himself. Risky move. He could guarantee that money for him right now if he signs a 2-year, $100 million extension, but he's going to bet on himself. The only thing is with football, you're just one play away from tearing your ACL, from having a season-ending injury, and that would derail his contract prospects if he does get injured. He's going to have to ball out. But both sides have a point. I think the Bucs offered him a legit 2-year contract that's worth his value. He's in that threshold, in the $50 million a year contract threshold. I think the Bucs offered a fair deal. It was a short-term deal, but it was something fair. I don't think it was something low-balled, but we'll see. I mean, if Baker balls out, great. Maybe he'll be able to secure a longer-term deal once this season ends. And where he goes, I'm not sure. I wonder where he would go. I think one team that could really use Baker Mayfield, though, I could see it, is the Minnesota Vikings. They've always had a trouble at that quarterback position. I don't think their number 1 pick has been panning out for them. He just doesn't look like he's the one, but Baker Mayfield could just come right into the Minnesota Vikings. He already has the weapons there, especially with Justin Jefferson, and I think he could be very valuable for that franchise. But time will tell. Baker Mayfield's going to have to bet on himself. He's going to have to ball out, and we'll go from there. And finally, one last bit of NFL news. We got Zay Flowers from the Baltimore Ravens signing a contract, $140 million contract for 4 years. I was surprised to see this, but not surprised. I am a Baltimore Ravens fan, so I do know Zay Flowers pretty well. The 4-year deal, $140 million extension, $108 million guaranteed, $35 million a year average comes out to. That is a massive contract extension for Zay Flowers. I don't know how I feel about that one. Zay Flowers is a great player, but he's inconsistent. He's explosive, but he's inconsistent. And then if we take a look here at the stats, compiled some of the other top paid wide receivers here. Clearly, Jamar Chase is just in a class of his own compared to everyone else. But I mean, nothing really stands out for me to Zay Flowers. I mean, total receiving touchdowns, he's the lowest out of the group. Total receiving yards, again, lowest out of the group. Total receptions, again, lowest out of the group. And we're talking about a class with Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson, Jackson Smith-Njigba, CeeDee Lamb. So I don't know if the money is completely warranted. I know that the market is crazy. I know the market continues to go up year after year in the NFL, but his production really does not justify that contract, especially when stacked up against the other top paid wide receivers in the league. But Baltimore, I guess, decided to go with Zay Flowers. They're his guy. I know him and Lamar Jackson have a rapport together. He is still young. I think he's only 23, so his career is still ascending. So potentially this could be a great move for Baltimore. But we'll see. It doesn't ring right with me as a Baltimore fan. I really don't want to see them commit that money to Zay Flowers. But yeah, that is the NFL market there for you. And that is Mo's sports segment for the week.
And that has been Mo's Sports Desk, because Mo knows. Yay. All right, guys. So here's a question for you guys. I would like to know, comment down below with any casting. What would be your dream casting for the X-Men? I would like to know, who would you want as Professor X or Magneto, a Storm, even the villains like Sabretooth, Toad, Quicksilver. Well, since this is going to be part of the MCU, is Wanda coming back as Scarlet Witch? Are we going to have Pedro coming back as Quicksilver? We don't know. So comment down below. And that will be it for us this week. Well, unless you want to say something real quick.
No, I think that'll do it. I mean, a lot of big gaming news, a lot of big film news. 2026 and 2027 are just shaping up to be just massive years for film and movies. And I'm loving every bit of it right now.
Yeah, same here. I can't wait. We still have one more video game tie-in movie this year in Street Fighter. I'm definitely going to watch it just because it looks like ridiculous fun. I'm not expecting to win any Academy Awards. I just want to have fun with it. Yeah, so, guys, so that'll be all for us for this week. So remember, guys, hit your subscribe, notification, hit the, you can follow us at TikTok, IGN, as well as Rumba, if you guys want to do that. You know what? Also, drop your thoughts about the EA sale. Are you guys actually optimistic of the new, private sector of EA? Or are you guys worried? Or you guys be like, it's going to be the same old EA? We don't know. So join us next week, guys, for Mo and Rob's Super Ordinary PopCast, where Mo's finally going to go the full Monty. And ladies, you don't want to miss it. All right. See you mañana.
Take care, guys.